Sonia Shockley Show. Turn your bitter into better. It's the Sonia Shockley Show. It's the Sonia Shockley Show. Turn your bitter into better. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the Sonia Shockley Show. I am your host, Sonia Michelle Shockley, inspirational singer and speaker, grief coach, soul nurturer, and your big sister in relationships. And I am here to help you turn your pain into perspective, your wounds into wisdom, and your bitter into better. Woo, yeah, that sounds good, huh? I'm so happy today because I have with me one of my good friends. Kelly, you have just been a regular on the Sonia Shockley Show, and I'm so happy to have you back. Your expertise, your knowledge, your wisdom. You are a wonderful resource on mental health and so many other things. So thank you so much for coming back. Today, our topic is about savoring the moments. But before we get into that, why don't you just give our audience a brief introduction of who you are and what you do?
I am Kelly Bennett, and I am an international neuro coach. And what that means is I use neuroscience and blend that in with some traditional therapy like cognitive behavioral therapy. And people are able to make breakthroughs for themselves much faster, generally 1 to 5 sessions versus 12 sessions with a traditional coach or therapist.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
And that sounds good, helping people to make those breakthroughs. I mean, that's what it's all about. Why live your life in misery? Why live a life like a trapped caged bird when you can be free? And there are so many tools, so many resources to help us get over past events, past trauma, and move forward. So thank you for sharing. Today, we're talking about savoring the moments. And this is a conversation where we always say, yes, I'll savor the moments, but we never seem to really take time to stop and smell the roses. I wanted to kind of set the tone of this talk today by reading some of the words from a song that I love. It says, if I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend it with you. And if I could make days last forever, and if words could make wishes come true, we'd walk through the fields of ripening corn, and time would flow through us and you. And I'd save every day like a treasure. Then again and again, I'd spend them with you. And I've looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with, through time with, through time with. If I could have a box just for wishes and dreams that had never come true, the box would be empty except for the memory of how they were answered by you. But then the chorus, so if only I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. When you think about that, but it just never seems to be enough time. And so many of us, after that loved one is gone, we're like, man, I wish I would have spent more time. So many of us think that we need to buy the latest toys, the latest gadgets for our children, but really, it's the time that they want from us. Let's talk about savoring the moments. What do you feel when I'm just reading some of those words?
Some of those words, there are some really simple, easy ways that we can savor the moment each day. So
Yeah.
many things that we can do, and it only takes 10 to 30 seconds
Mhm.
to savor a moment. And
Yes.
it adds so many beautiful benefits to our health and to our brain,
Mhm.
and allows us also to remember those really, really beautiful times that we had with family or friends that have passed on.
Yes, yes. Well, for some of our guests, they may not even know what it means to savor the moment, to live in the present. So why
Right.
don't you give them a definition of what savoring a moment means?
So, savoring a moment simply means either really embracing the moment you're currently in, or we can do a brief exercise and we can all savor the moment right now. And how we do that is we take a deep, deep mindful yawn. I'm going to do it with you. Sonia's going to do it with us. So, and the bigger your mouth, the better. Do not ever hide your yawns. And then we're going to do a soft touch either on our arm, or you can do a super slow movement.
Mhm.
And that's going to get you deeply relaxed. And we will capture a savoring moment that we'd had in the past. So you'll close your eyes, bring up that image, and then if you get this little Mona Lisa smile, you know you've hit your savoring moment. So you ready to start?
Yes, yes.
All
Yes.
right, let's do it. Let's take a deep, deep mindful yawn. And you can either do a soft touch or a super slow movement. It's your choice. And now I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think of a time that you had a lot of joy. It can be by yourself, it can be with family, it could be with friends. But once you get that, you're going to feel this little smile come up on your head. And you just want to sit in that moment for about 10 to 30 seconds and just savor it.
I love it. I think I wanted to stay longer, but I remember we had more questions.
We
I
do have more questions, but if you guys noticed, you will have seen Sonia's Mona Lisa smile that she got.
right, right.
Yeah, and that's really what we want to hit. And
Mhm.
you can set an insight timer on your phone and do it 10 to 12 times throughout the day. Super quick, 10 to 30 seconds.
I love it. I love it. And
Yeah.
it's so interesting for me because family and friends are so important. My immediate flashback is going to be time with family. Those are the
Yeah.
moments that I really want to savor. So I actually went back to my 50th birthday party
Did
where,
you?
yes,
Nice.
that was just the moment. It was the ultimate moment. I'm ready to throw another party, really. It was just so awesome. But yes, thank you. I love that exercise. That was beautiful. Now let's talk a little bit about the connection with the yawning. I mean, why was it important to yawn and then do the touch or the slow movement? What is it that's happening with the brain?
So The yawn is the fastest way to relax your body. So there's lots and lots of research out there, and it keeps pointing to yawning as a thermoregulatory response for your body. And it is the fastest way to relax the body. And that soft, nurturing touch or super slow movement deeply relaxes your body an additional level so that you're just deeply relaxed and in the moment. And that gets you into the salience network in your brain. It's an area of the brain that we don't get into enough, but it's kind of like your to simmer down the other two areas, which is your executive function network. If you're working, you're using that one a lot, or your imagination network, your default mode network. That's where all of your creativity is. So when you get those really great ideas, it's coming out of the default mode network. And if you get a lot of anxiety, that's also coming out of your default mode network. You're kind of thinking of past events that are presenting as real. So when we use more of that salience network, and I just taught you all how to do that, you are able to balance out those other two so that you're not too much into the executive function network and not too much into the default mode network, your imagination network.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, beautiful. Okay, thank you. I'll
Yeah.
have to do
So
more yawning. Actually,
you
when
have to
someone
do.
is yawning, it's not a bad thing.
No, never deny your body a yawn.
I
Yeah.
love it. Now, as also with the yawning, is it because the body needs more oxygen?
Sometimes it could be the body needs more oxygen. It could also just need to wake itself up. So if you're sleepy, you notice you're yawning, but it's not necessarily because you're tired. The yawning is to wake you up,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that they found out during the research.
Right. Well, we'll have to
Yeah.
have you come back just to specifically talk about the
The
benefits
yawn.
of yawning. Yes, for sure. But let's
Yeah.
get back to the topic of living in the moment. We know that if we're living in the past, we're suffering with depression,
Mm-hmm.
past regrets, painful events, childhood trauma.
Right.
When we're living in the future, we're suffering with anxiety, worried about
Mhm.
what's going to come next, the fear of the
Right.
unknown. Let's talk about just living in the moment, living in the present, and some of the health benefits of living in the moment.
So there are so many health benefits. When you live in the moment, you're rewiring the axons and neurons in your brain to connect to happier thoughts. And that's going to help alleviate some of the depression and some of the anxiety that someone might be experiencing. And it also allows you to be happier. So when you're able to live in the moment and really enjoy every day for what it brings and find the good things within that day, and you're going to notice by doing that one brief exercise throughout the day, you're going to have many moments throughout the day that are really, really good. And our brain tries to trick us to go into the negative because that's what it's kind of wired to do. And so when we do the savoring of each moment, then we really get to be in the moment and be fully present in our lives, fully present with our kids, our parents, our family, our friends. Yeah, it's just beautiful to be able to gain more happiness in your life.
Yes, for sure. Now, what about someone who is finding this difficult? They're going through a difficult situation, whether it's abuse of some sort, an abusive relationship,
Right.
or maybe if a loved one is dying. how could we encourage them now to savor the moment? They might be like, I'm really just trying to get over this, get through it, and forget this moment. But even in a
Right.
difficult, dark moment, how can someone still find some positive aspects that will help them to grow and expand?
Right. So when you've got a loved one that is passing, it's really hard for you. And a friend of mine recently shared, I I don't want to call my grandma. I don't want to go see my grandma because I want to remember my grandma the way I remember her. And now she has Alzheimer's or dementia. And just, even if it's just a phone call for 10 minutes, what you've given that other person is, 10 minutes of joy,
Hmm.
10 minutes of hearing somebody care about them, hearing somebody that loves them. And that is very beautiful. So when you make those little phone calls, when you sit with that loved one who might be dying and isn't able to voice their words as they had in the past, just knowing that your presence is bringing joy. And so really focus on the joy that you're giving. And that will allow you to look at it in a different light and that you are giving them joy. Even if you're giving them that very soft touch on their arm, holding their hand, stroking their hair, those are all moments that feel good. It feels good to the body, and people do savor it even when you don't think that they're able to do that.
Hmm.
So just live in the moment that you know that you're providing good.
Yes, for sure. And I think about with my mother when she was transitioning, how she just really wanted me to sit with her, to
Mhm.
put the busyness aside and to just be present and in the
Right.
moment. And when I look back on that time, I wish I would have done more of that, because those are
Yeah.
moments that you can't get back. So you want to really be strategic about how we're living the moments in our life. You know, if
Mhm.
you treat the moments or if you treat your day like one big selfie, and a selfie, you take a
Yeah.
cheese and you capture this moment in time, and you can go back to that selfie and you can remember where you were, what you were doing. I mean, the joy that might have happened, or if it was a
Right.
sad day, you can go back and like remember. And that's kind of like how I try to live life. I try to treat it like it's a selfie. This is a moment I want to capture. I want to be present. I want to be here for every little nook and cranny. I don't want to miss
Right.
any of it. And so when I treat it like that, like a selfie, it really helps me to savor the moment. And so I like what you were saying with the yawning, because that goes with it. So now I'm yawning. I'm taking a picture of the
Taking a picture.
yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
giving
I love it.
myself this lovely, soft touch. One of the things
Uh-huh.
that I teach my students is what we call the butterfly hug. And so
Nice.
you're giving yourself that soothing hug with the
Mhm.
soft touch and just affirming yourself.
Yeah.
Wonderful affirmations. I love you. I accept you. You know, I'm so
Yeah.
thankful for you. All of those things. We laugh at that sometimes, or we don't take it serious, but
Yeah.
man, has it been so beneficial for
That's
me.
yeah, that's
It really
amazing.
has been.
Have them add a yawn and let me know
Oh,
how
we're gonna
how
do the next session
how
is
it goes.
definitely we'll be doing yawning. Yes. I'm gonna tell them, let's yawn now and let's do this soft touch. And I
Yeah.
find it beneficial with really calming my mind, the right and the left hemisphere, helping them to work together, you know,
Yeah.
to be logical but creative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I really find it to be an excellent tool for
Yeah.
just helping me to relax. So
And
yes,
that's because you're pulling in that salience network, and
yeah,
it really helps even everything out for you.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Kelly,
that's
I was talking a little bit about my mom and how I lived in the moment. Do you have an example in your life where you lived in the moment?
an example. I When I first started doing the yawning myself and the super slow movement, I would find that there were times when it was a weird, awkward time to do the mindful yawn and the slow movement. And I might have been getting into the car, I might have been with a patient. And what I decided to do was just to do this savoring moment. And as I'm getting into the car, looking at who's with me, if it's my girls, um, or it could be a bird chirping. So just stopping and taking that moment to really embrace your environment.
For sure, for
So,
sure.
and there's such tiny little embracements.
Mhm.
But when you see that hummingbird or just any bird and hear them chirping, you can hear the beauty. And so it's really just finding moments of beauty, moments around you. And you can find them anywhere when you're by yourself, when you're
You
with family, it's super easy to find some of the beautiful moments.
I find for me, I'm able to be more conscious and aware of them when I'm in an attitude of gratitude, when I
Yeah,
have a spirit of appreciation. It's just all of a sudden when we put on a lens or put on the glasses of appreciation, everything just looks more beautiful, at least for me. I mean, I can be out on a walk. I put on those glasses of joy and appreciation, and now the mountains are like, my goodness, when did those mountains
right.
become
Yeah,
that beautiful? You know,
yeah,
the flowers, like you said, the birds. It's like all of your senses are now
yeah,
heightened. You're more aware of the beauty around you. You're in what I call you're in a mode to receive.
you
You
are.
know,
If you're very new to doing this kind of thing in your life, it will take about 2 to 3 weeks for
hmm
you to actually notice a difference. And things that you're going to notice are, I'm not as angry as I used to be. Um, what used to maybe upset me isn't upsetting me anymore. And I'm able to deal with life's upsets much easier and
yes,
move through those at an easier pace. So if you're new to it, just keep at it, because in 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to notice that you're able to do what Sonia has expressed that she does and live in that moment of gratitude.
yes. Well, I do a lot of tapping. The cortices tapping is like one of
Yes,
my regulars every day. I do it every morning and every night because it
that's
just
great.
allows me to have that balance. So anyway, we'll have to do another show on that, but
We will have to do another
I
show
know
on
because we're
that.
almost out of time now. But you are always amazing, and I'm so grateful. It was something that you said, and I wanted to talk about the anger because what I find is even if I'm triggered by something, my recovery time is so much shorter. It's
Yeah,
like you quickly now, it's like something might have got to you, and you're just like, wait a minute now, that
yeah,
wait, how did I let you get that close to me? And hey, I didn't mean to be bothered by you. But even if it does, I notice now I'm able to just quickly recover, go
yeah.
to my triggers, like explore it, like what happened, what was it, and I can process it just that fast, and I can recover and come back
Yeah,
because of these different tools and techniques that I
yeah.
have used. So Yeah, when you talked
Right.
about that,
You're in a relaxed, mindful awareness state.
yes,
And
yes,
when you can capture those relaxed, mindful awareness moments, yeah, you're going to move through things much quicker and you're going to process it. And then you're going to be able to find solutions to those situations that you've got presented to you.
sure, sure.
Yeah.
Well, Kelly, our time is almost up, and you've always, as always, you're amazing. I wanted to just talk about just some of the ways that we can live in the moment. Of course, uh, don't worry is one of them.
Don't
What are
worry, be
some of
happy.
taking a deep breath is another one we learned about. We learned about yawning today. What are some other suggestions that you have for just living in the moment?
Really just pay attention to the day and pay
Mhm.
attention to the moment of joy. If you hit something and you're loving whatever that was, just take a moment and savor it. So stop for 10 seconds and savor your kid's smile, savor that moment that you're sitting with your loved one who might be passing, and just really embrace that joy. So when you find yourself that you get this little smile, that's a moment that you're like, I need to savor that. Yeah. Anytime
Yeah.
something good happens to you, take a moment and really savor it.
Favor, for sure, for sure. So we know don't worry, pay attention to the small things, notice the world around us, smile more. Giving
Yeah.
thanks, we talked about that. Don't worry is another one we talked about. I've said that already. Just talk for a second about random acts of kindness. How does
Oh,
that help us live in the moment?
those are so much fun when you
Yeah.
give random acts of kindness, and they're fun when you receive them as well.
Yes, they are. And I'm so amazed when people say no to me when I'm doing a random act of kindness. It's like when I'm in the grocery store and I'll
Mhm.
see, like just maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was at a restaurant, just a drive through and
Yeah.
not a drive through, but, coming in, carry out, quick in and out. And I went to pay for the next person's food, and she stopped me. Oh no, I don't need that. I'm okay. And I'm always amazed at how some people are like, don't do that, or they get upset about you wanting to help them with a random
Right.
act. I mean, some people are ready to receive, like, yeah, thank you. But
Yeah.
some are not, they're not the best receivers. And again, that's probably a whole nother talk show too.
That is a
But
whole nother talk
they,
show.
it is so much fun because I've had it come to me several times in my life, just random acts. People are like, I'm in the line at Walmart. Hey, I've got a coupon for that. Thank you, or I'm,
Yeah.
at another place and somebody is like, oh yeah, I'll take care of it. Don't you worry, I'll pay
Yeah.
for that. So it
Sometimes it's
happens
our
to me a lot. Yeah,
it's
go ahead.
yeah, but the people that aren't able to receive, it's their past belief systems that were handed down to them. And
Okay.
it may be, you don't need to accept anything from anyone. You can do it all by yourself. You don't need anybody else's help. You
Yes.
don't need a handout. And those are beliefs that have been passed down through generations. And it's not necessarily true.
Yeah. I know, because if you're not a great receiver, then you're out of balance. Some people are great givers and they take pride in that.
Yeah.
But also, I find that if you're a great giver, it's a control issue. You like to be here and the receivers are here. But it's just, you can't
Yeah.
give without doing some sort of receiving. That's just against the law of nature. Everything in nature gives
Right.
and receives. We breathe, we inhale,
Right.
we exhale, we give to the plants, we give to the animal kingdom. Everything is about the
Right.
whole principle of giving and receiving. So,
Right.
yes, like I said,
Yeah.
we can have a whole nother talk show just on the power of giving and receiving.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I see you said some notes here about set a mindfulness bell or an insight timer to your phone. Did you want to talk a little bit about that before we go?
Sure. So we did the exercise at the beginning of the show, and you
Mhm.
just wanted to, on your cell phone, set an insight timer or a mindfulness bell, have it go off each hour, and really, when it goes off, you take that moment to savor something pleasant. So you
Yes,
do the deep mindful yawn, you do the very soft touch or the
yes,
super slow movement,
yes.
and it only takes 10 to 30 seconds.
I know. I mean,
And then
really,
yeah, you've
it's
then captured 10 to 12 savoring moments throughout the
mhm,
day.
yes, and it could just change your whole day.
Oh, yeah, it does change it. Definitely.
Just
Yeah.
increases those endorphins. You're feeling good. You're feeling
Mhm.
happy, and yeah, I love it. I love it. So, Kelly, I'm so grateful again, always, to have you on the show. Let's just let our audience know how they can find you and reach you. Kelly is just an expert. Please take advantage of her knowledge. Reach out to her, Kelly at neurofitness.us. Kelly at neurofitness.us. She's all about the inner size, not the exercise, which, yes, we know we need, but
Right.
the inner side. we gotta we gotta learn how to put the inside healthy. If you change yourself, I promise the people around you will change. And please know you can always reach me at Sonia the Grief Coach at gmail.com. Again, that's Sonia the Grief Coach at gmail.com. And on social media at Sonia M. Shockley. Please take time to go to my YouTube channel and like, share, and subscribe. I'm so grateful for those of you who have already subscribed. I am almost to 100 subscribers. Yeah,
Yay.
it is free. It only takes a minute to press that bell and receive these receive these messages on a regular basis. So many people are hurting. So many people are struggling, and it is my privilege and pleasure to serve in my calling and to help those who are wounded and brokenhearted. So thank you again for joining us. And those of you who will join the replay, thank you also. Take time to love yourself. Take time to live in the moment. These are moments that you can never get back. Always know when it comes to money, you can make more money, but you can never get back more time. Is that correct, Kelly, or what?
That is so correct. Yeah,
You cannot get
absolutely.
the time back. So you want to learn to savor the moments. Any closing thoughts, Kelly, before we go?
Oh, I think you all are going to love savoring the moment and setting that mindfulness bell on your phones and just really embrace that when you start and keep at it for 2 to 3 weeks.
Yes, yes.
And you will
Thank
see some
you.
positivity. Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you. And you have a great day, Kelly, and all of my audience. Remember, I love you with an everlasting love. God bless you. And until we see you again on next time on the Sonia Shockley Show.